So every Monday is the intervention order day, which looks at personal safety intervention orders and family violence intervention orders. So that's the day set aside when all those matters come to the court and the resources of the court are put towards supporting that day. So all the meetings beforehand and all that are about managing and planning that single day to make it as smooth as possible so that people can get into court and then leave the court as quickly as they can. Because the longer that they are here for, the more stress that adds for them. So it's about managing their anxieties of being here, getting them through the court system in the easiest possible way. I'm sitting in one of our community rooms downstairs at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre. The room also acts as an overflow room on Family Violence Intervention Order Day, as it's located next to the security officers in the centre and provides an added layer of support for people who are here on the day. The Client Services team at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre is a co-location of community services who work together to provide support for people who come to the centre. The advantages of having the local services on site is it provides an easy access to services locally, it streamlines referrals into services, and allows a more immediate response to better meet the needs of people who come here, whether they be applicants or whether they be respondents to matters.
The Client Services team was brought together to actually address the underpinnings of what has brought people into the lists at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre, but also what may bring people into the centre more broadly. So it carries a range of specialties across a range of different disciplines and is composed in the main by actually external service providers, which represents a significant departure from how justice would normally do its business in this area, which would be more about centralising agencies attached to the court. So the Client Services team, as I said before, is composed of external service providers. We carry expertise in mental health, drug and alcohol, family violence, applicant support, victims assistance, housing, financial counselling, employment pathways support. We maintain a chaplain, we have court network involved, we have an intensive mental health outreach support service. And all of those services revolve around a consistent model within the centre, which is a one client-based approach, which allows each of those services to provide their expertise in relation to that client in combination with the other specialties that we have within the centre itself. So our legal practitioners, our correctional components, the court itself, our programmatic division. What we have is a very broad range of service providers, all of whom represent a resource based here and a resource that is attached to their organisation.
I think the Neighbourhood Justice Centre is probably unique in utilising a model like that, where we have at least 3 staff or 4 staff on the day, whose role is really to go around, monitor people, check in with them, offer them just some basic, even just a food or drink or something along those lines, and to say if they need anything that we're there to help.
Monday mornings can be quite a noisy affair. We've got a lot of people turning up at the same time, but often having to wait around until their matter is heard, until they've actually seen a duty lawyer or spoken to the police prosecutor. And I think what our process does, it provides that face-to-face contact and personal support, reaching out to people and offering them assistance that's going to help them get through the morning or the afternoon or the whole day if the matter takes a while to be resolved. It's important to the individual to know that someone knows that they're here and is prepared to check in with them just throughout the morning or the afternoon, just to make sure they're okay, see how they're travelling, if there's anything that they need. And that could be, as I said, it could be a drink, it could be a meal, it could be just sitting with them while they wait for their matter going to court.
I think because of the planning that goes into it and the staff that are there, it's been due to good planning that we actually don't get a lot of incidents on the day. It's normal for people to have a lot of anxiety when they come on the day, a lot of unknown things will occur. And so we obviously aim to get to identify that as early as possible and kind of manage that. And look, we're very tuned into that, and we would attempt to kind of move people into areas and spaces just to give them a chance to calm down and address their needs that way. So I think there's a lot of work that goes into preventing that, which is the whole aim of the day, considering you have people who are often at conflict with each other. So it's about how do we eliminate as much as possible any kind of triggers for that to occur.
The space here at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre is a more intimate space, It may not feel like that initially when people come to the court. They probably do feel quite exposed because there are a lot of people and there's a lot of activity and a lot going on. The space that we offer is a more intimate space. It's certainly visually a more appealing and calming space than some of the larger spaces at other courts where people just sit and mill around and anxiety feeds off anxiety and people get noticeably, visibly upset and distressed. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen here at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre, but I think the way that we do our work and that we quietly go about in a quite industrious way, making that face-to-face contact with people really assists them in this sort of prettier, it's a much more aesthetically pleasing environment to feel more relaxed and comfortable while they're waiting to do the serious business of the court.
One of the big advantages of co-located services at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre that I think really contributes to the client's overall experience is that it's really a very multi-jurisdictional environment. So a client might come to court with a family violence intervention order issue, but there may be a whole lot of associated additional legal issues attached to that legal issue. So, for example, someone may be the applicant in a family violence intervention order matter, but they might also need to make a claim under the Victims of Crime compensation scheme. They might also need to have an amendment made to their public housing tenancy. So they might need some tenancy law advice. They might need some advice in relation to a infringements matter or a criminal law matter, or perhaps most commonly a family law matter. We also have a family law clinic that's actually available on Tuesday afternoons, Tuesday evenings at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre. So clients with family law legal issues can be referred directly from the Monday intervention order list.
The reason we meet on a Monday really is to coordinate our approaches to all the parties that come to court on Monday. It's to provide an update to services, so if we have additional services available, if we have any staff who are not available and how we're going to cover that. The team that meets on Monday is a dedicated team made up of various workers from the broader client services team, and together we support each other to provide support to our clients, and it's really that early intervention streamlined approach to get the necessary support to clients as early as we can.
So the staff on the day constantly monitor the court floor, utilising their skills in being able to pick people who need extra help.
Obviously something's happened to bring people here, so I can facilitate a conversation around this is what client services offer. If there's anything here that might be helpful to you, we can talk about that. And very often that will prompt someone to say, well actually, I'm not travelling so well today, I'm really stressed, I don't feel well, I've got to go home and take some medication. So I guess it depends on what the client discloses as to where my conversation goes.
Another huge advantage for clients here at the Neighbourhood Justice Centre is the direct service provision that's available on site. So on Mondays there's Berry Street, client services, homegrown services for issues that might result of housing problems as a result of an intervention order, and also court network. So it's really great to be able to have those services available immediately on site to support victims of family violence.
That's how the centre operates, by not getting people to be linked in here necessarily, but we would link them into the community resources that we have. So depending on what their other needs are, we would link them in with addiction programs, mental health issues, GPs and so on and so forth. So ours is all about linking back to the community as a whole, recognising the community is part of the solution here.
Not only do they get expert advice in relation to their intervention order matter, they also have lawyers who are really linked into other relevant practice areas. We have a really wide range of legal practitioners available to clients. So there's Fitzroy Legal Service, but there's also Victoria Legal Aid. We service the duty lawyer list each Monday. If there is a conflict of interest between those two services, we also have women's legal service essentially on standby, available via Skype as a third available service.
I guess for me, being part of the Monday process, that I call it, and I guess I use the word process as a worker, it has put me in a privileged position of working on the court floor to provide support, that personal or court support to clients. And so I would have to endorse that model that I have seen. It makes a difference in people's experience of coming to court to address these distressing matters and the issues that are going on in life that has brought them to court. And from some of the feedback that I've had from clients, I've just noted over the years some of the things people have said to me. It obviously makes a difference to the people's, individuals' experience of coming to court. Thank you for the support you provide. Thanks for what you do. It really makes a difference. You have provided me with a great deal of comfort. The follow-up and the follow-through has been amazing. Thank you for all your help. I really do appreciate it. I couldn't have done it without your support. I'm glad that you were there for me. So I guess there's really a theme of support. So that tells me that what we're doing is working. It's making a difference for the people that come to court to do the serious business that has brought them to court. And we can't change what's happened, but we can change the client's experience of being at court, and I certainly hope it makes a difference, and it would seem to me that it does.
What we know and what we will be putting in the public domain is actually that model is cheaper to run that way than a large number of the other diversionary processes that occur within the court system. Because what we can attest to is the number of clients that are referred to us, they stay with us, and that we keep them, we engage with them, and that we can say that both leads to the decrease in their recidivism and also gives us a cost efficiency in terms of how is it we provide such a broad range of service for quite an inexpensive price. Having
worked in this area for the better part of 20 years, I have to say that this would be my preferred way of working. It's an absolute privilege to be able to work with such a dedicated team and to be able to make facilitated referrals within minutes of a client identifying what's going to be most helpful for them, and to be able to come upstairs and speak with my colleagues, and for them to be able to come down within 5 or 10 minutes and give a client their business card with their direct phone number, make an appointment either the same day, the next day, or within the next week. It's unbelievable. It's such a refreshing way of working and not having to scratch around to find resources that are available to provide support to client. You might have to wait for people to call you back, to wait a week or weeks even before a client can get an appointment to see, other workers, and to have them just available on tap here in the client services team is just an amazing way to do our work.